Hey there, everyone, and good morning or good afternoon or whatever it may be, wherever you may be. This is Carpo coming at you with another 15 minutes of free thinking or so. Hope everyone's doing well today. It's been an interesting year. I haven't made a video in close to a week, so I thought I would make one real quick. I'm thinking about going out of town for a couple days, but I just thought I'd sit down here and talk a little bit about unity for a moment, something that we're lacking so much at this time in history. But in a world where everyone's paranoid, where everyone is suspicious of one another, where there's a lot of distrust among entire groups of people, um, it's kind of a mechanism that we've created through our allowing of lies to be acceptable in our society. And this even comes down to truth in advertising, for example, or the fact that all the way through the 60s and 70s they were telling you that smoking was good for your health, you know, where every company who's ever tried to make a dollar is constantly telling you that the other guy's bad and they know what's best. This happens in the market, this happens in politics, this happens in religion. This happens in any group or system of belief where a person really wants you to believe their side, so therefore they demonize everybody else. And that's somewhat how we got to where we're at right now. But there's a lot of propaganda that people buy into. And I guess I only have a few more minutes to speak. I didn't realize that my camera was almost out of space. So that's okay. I wanted to make this quick anyway. It says I have 5 minutes. What I really wanted to say was we need to have a little bit of compassion for ourselves and for others, and especially for ourselves. You know, it's so easy to beat ourselves up over what we have or haven't done in life. And when we have compassion for ourselves, it allows us to have compassion for others. And, with the COVID lockdown and everything that's been going on, there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of mixed signals, miscommunications about what we should or shouldn't be doing. And we're facing a worldwide crisis, which may not be a big one. This will pass like any other virus and we'll go on with our lives. But in the meantime, it's revealed a lot of weaknesses within our systems. And I think we've had a lot of time to think about it. And this has caused a lot of problems as well. But what I see happening is a loss of security that we never had. And this is not, nowhere this is more present than in America. We've been in a bubble for so long. And it's going to burst. All bubbles burst. You know, when people talk about how bad the riots are here in America or in Portland, I just laugh after watching a video this morning of the riots in Paris yesterday after their football team lost. I thought, it's a crazy world out there. We just haven't seen a lot of it where we're at. But Americans are used to our routines, just like most of the world. We're used to getting up, doing our routines, and when those routines are broken, change is very difficult for people, and it brings out a lot of emotions. So, I guess the big question I want to ask is this. Which emotions do you want to foster? Which do you think are more healthy? Calling everyone else names and dismissing half of the country as the enemy, or actually trying to understand one another, which seems to be one of the most difficult things right now for people, is to just try to understand each other. You know, we all have our problems out there. I mean, God, for the parents out there, with school starting right now, with what's going on with COVID, it's a nightmare because you've got people who are trying to work their jobs as well as teaching their kids, miscommunications about whether schools will even be open or closed, and the same thing is happening with workplaces. Breaking these routines upsets people. Everybody. Nobody likes what's going on. But I'd like to say, we're all in this together. We really are. As much as we think it's horrible what's going on in the world or in our nation, I hear people say it's going to be a war, civil war. It's nonsense. We're not going to take up arms against one another because we don't stand for anything that much. People don't seem to know what they even want. So it's not as bad as the media would portray it and tell you that it is. It can be bad, and there's going to be rough times, but if we get angry about it instead of discussing it, this is how we get locked into our ways of thinking. So the final question here is, how do you know when to believe what you're told, and also when to act or contribute to society? Because a lot of us want to just walk away from it all, but you're constantly affected by the politics. You cannot escape. You are always affected wherever you go. So we have to step in as much as we can, and as far as believing what we're told, we just have to, I guess, be a jack of all trades, or, try to understand things the best we can. So that's what I've got for now. My camera's about to run out of space, so peace. Be well. Take care.